Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Play Aquaria. I'm Nai.
I'm Mako. Insert clever entry here.
Yeah, we don't have one for this one. Aquaria is a game I've been meaning to play for a long time. It is a underwater Metroidvania that we'll be getting into fairly quickly here. But first, we need to start with the intro.
Okay.
Which is really confusing and only makes sense later. So, BitBlot Presents. This is a game that I've loved for a very long time. It was one of the first games I ever got on my computer, actually. This is one of the games that started my love of not only computer games, but also indie games. So it holds a special place in my heart, especially the soundtrack.
This is probably the first indie game I ever bought.
Yeah. I think it's part of the original Humble Bundle or something like that.
No, before that.
Oh, yeah, see, I got it in the Humble Bundle. So we have a boy who is drawing underwater scenes for whatever reason. But, things are going wrong, as you can see by the reddening of this window, and all of a sudden, meteors. Meteorites, really. In his flying
Quite
island.
a lot of them.
Lots of them, yes. So, we had a strike of some sort, is what I'm assuming. What's really weird about it is after the strike fades, then he leaves his house and walks out. I don't really understand. But just thud. Had a very Monty Python-esque feel to that just now. Just it cracks, you're down. I can hear him sort of falling into water in the background. And down he goes. Now, as a person who is scuba certified and has been underwater, you have to be a distance underwater to get a look like that.
Glub, glub, glub.
Very glub glub. Like, that's 15 to 20 feet underwater by the time you actually see that sign. And this leads us into Aquaria's opening screen. And now, new game. So that opening happens typically before the menu even loads up.
The verse flows throughout
And we meet our protagonist.
through each ripple and wave.
Now, our protagonist, the game is voice acted a lot, and it's very much like Bastion, in that our narrator talks about the majority of the game through the game itself.
We should note that this is like it's going to be very difficult to talk without talking over her because she talks a lot.
And this is why we have subtitles. I highly encourage you to go play the game, grab the game, play it with me. It's typically pretty cheap, and it goes on sale all the time.
As far back as I can remember, I came to this place.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to hear.
Here the verse was so focused.
Not going to be able to hear our main character very much at all because, as Mako said, she talks all the time. So what we know is that she has stayed in this cave a lot, and generally can sing and things. Come and say hi. But she got lonely, and once she got lonely, it was time for us to go. Now, the game tells us that we can hold left mouse button or spacebar to swim. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to use the WASD keys, because that makes more sense. Here's our map.
Works a lot better.
Yeah, it works a lot better.
Big old map.
We got a very large map we get to go with. You do get to see where my cursor is, which is very important. Now, there's a lot of things I love about this game, one of which is the art style. If you actually go, you can actually watch videos. A lot of this stuff, well, actually all of this stuff, it's all hand-painted. So, what they did is they took, like, little chunks. You can kind of see a little bit of how they did it. They take little chunks and they repeat it around, but the actual graphics were originally hand-painted and then copied in order to send them all around. But it's very cool to watch them do it. But it gives the game a very lovely view. This is the majority of our HUD. We really don't ever get anything more than this. This lower right-hand corner, you'll see we do have a map. That'll tell us where Naija is. She's always in the center. It also tells us where we are and a general idea. Hitting Q gives us a full map. It also tells us where we are, which is kind of important. We're going to need that later on. And on the lower end is my health.
Blue, and it goes all the way to the if it goes all the way to the right to the 3 o'clock position, we're done.
Yep, that'd be a really bad thing. Now, I really like that when you go into dark areas in caves, the map actually fades out because you don't know where you are anymore. It can be kind of a pain,
It's always been a nice touch.
Yep. So we have discovered a map token. The map token will give us information. I forget what that particular one means, actually.
I think the map tokens are explicitly there for marking landmarks because of the way the map functions.
Well, certain tokens do, but I can't remember what that blue one in particular is. We also have 2 map markers that we can set as we so choose. I'm not going to, but they're there. Now, Naija has a very... Naija. I can't remember if it's Naija or Naija.
Naja's.
I think it's
I've
Naija.
always thought it was Naija.
So Naija is friends with a lot of the animals of the sea, so these jellyfish are actually our friends. And as I said, it's very beautiful. Now, Naija has a very unique ability, unique to a lot of things. You heard her talking about the verse and the song. So she has the ability to sing, and that singing allows her to do a number of things. For example, she can call friends. But one thing it also allows us to do is interact with the environment. So for example, you'll see that this pod is a kind of a bluish purple. So what we want to do is we want to sing the note. So all these are notes. You can kind of hear that in the background there. We want to sing the note related to the pod. Singing it enough will pop the pod and give us a thing.
You can tell if you've got it right even if you're tone deaf because the pods will sort of vibrate.
Yep.
In fact, sort of the color and the symbol are the game's way of helping those people who can't, who really don't.
The symbols actually mean something later on, and actually, for that matter, so do the colors. They actually do mean things.
They do mean things, but if you are tone deaf, it does help.
Yeah, a little bit. So
but this is a game that kind of relies quite heavily on your being able to have some auditory skill.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna move on a little bit. So we can look around a little bit if we want to. It's not usually important to be able to do this, but it's there.
Occasionally, there's something coming up that's rather important on our map.
Well, not yet.
Let's see. Well, not quite.
Okay, so we got a rock here. Can't do anything about that. So now it's giving us the information about the plant, but I already told you guys about that. We just got a new consumable, the hand roll, which is good for giving us health back. But getting a consumable for the first time also gives us the recipe. Also, notice if I sing, the fish around us will light up in that color.
Start following you.
Yep.
Or just swarm around you. It's rather nice.
It's actually an important thing to learn later on. So now we're going to learn about currents. So the game's just giving us a little bit of idea that if you go into the current, it'll push you around, and you cannot fight the current.
Not easily, at least.
They're also, the game just gave me the idea that we can do what they call jumping. Not really what you consider to be jumping, considering we're underwater.
I was wise to use the full range of my physical.
Yep, you can basically latch onto a wall and push off against it.
And Naija is actually teaching us about this concept.
Leaving my pursuers in my wake.
Just letting us know, it allows you to move faster than even just a normal, like, speed, like the sprint that I'm doing right now. It allows us to move faster than that. The problem is you do have to touch the wall for a second.
You have to be able to touch the wall, and it will actually let you bypass some rapids if you do it correctly. Yep. Those will recover your health when you touch them.
Not that we actually lost any health in the first place, but, you know, they're there.
It's good to know.
Okay. We just continue to kind of blitz through the world.
I could feel the verse.
So now we have learned our first song.
Certain songs stirred the verse deeply, causing changes in the surrounding waters. The first song I had discovered would wrap the verse around me, protecting me from environmental dangers.
So what we can do, if we ever forget what the songs are, if we go into our menu, we can click on the song, and it's going to show us exactly what we have to do in order to make it happen. So this one is that, and that'll give me a short temporary shield. And I believe you can also... That's not that. I want to say there's a button you can press that will automatically cast things.
It will, but only very specific songs.
Yeah.
And Shield is not one of them.
I thought Shield was.
No.
See, these are why we care about Shield.
Right. They'll block or
because
reduce
for some
bullets.
stupid reason these things attack us.
Right. No, you're thinking of another very specific thing. I'm trying not to talk about because it'll be a while before we.
Okay. So now we're behind that rock that we couldn't move earlier. We're going to learn the hot soup recipe.
Which which I believe increases your defense for a little bit.
Well, I can go look at this stuff. We go to, I believe it's this page. So small egg and the fish oil don't do anything. We use those for cooking. But hand roll gives us a healing, and they just say heal +1. Heal +2 is a better heal. Hot soup is speed up.
Oh, speed up.
Seconds.
Well, +1 is I don't know, about a quarter of what we've got.
Yeah, I never actually tried to quantify it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not a full heal and it's not a half heal, but yes, when you first time you touch these, they get marked on your map. Those are save points.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and save. So we'll save over the previous things we had. I think here's a good place to stop. So, very beautiful world that we're going to explore and find out what's going on, if anything. I love that Naija has a cape. There's something about that cape that's awesome. Folks, we'll catch you next time.